Now, just to relate to the qadar, this is probably one of the most misunderstood concepts in the Islamic tradition. I think a lot of Muslims even misunderstand it. But let me relate it to two very important concepts in the Quran. Generally, khayr is understood to be good, and shar is understood to be evil. But from the Islamic cosmological view, this is related to abundance, and this is related to want. And the actual moral component in these concepts is played down in a way that it wouldn't be in Christianity. So let me give you an example. I think for a lot of people, they have a hard time with the idea of a God who could create evil. And this is a classic philosophical problem in the West. If God is all good and He's all powerful, then there shouldn't be evil. Because if He was all good, He wouldn't want evil. And if He was all powerful, He could do something about it. And this is a common philosophical problem. They call it the problem of evil. And there have been attempts to resolve it. But from a Muslim point of view, we believe that good and evil are both from God. But before we say, what, you mean God is evil, let's look a little deeper at what this means in terms of its philosophical implications. The word shar is related to, for instance, poverty. Poverty in the Arab tradition is shar. Why? Because it's a want. There's no moral judgment there in a poor person. You're not saying a poor person's evil. You're just saying poverty is shar. It's a want. There's a lack of something. When we talk about good and evil, from a Muslim perspective, good means that there is a divine presence. Shar means there's an absence of the divine. When you look at this in terms of a moral action, if a person saves somebody drowning, that would be called khayr. But if a person kills somebody, that would be called shar. Why? Because if you save the drowning person, there is a quality, there is a divine quality that is embodied there, which is rahmah. But if you kill a person unjustly, there is the absence of the divine quality, which is justice. You have been unjust. And the Quran says that God is not unjust. So in the absence of good, we have evil. And this is how the Muslims view it. They literally view evil as an absence of good. So to the degree that the divine qualities are not present in the world, we have evil. And to the degree that the divine qualities are present in the world, the immanence is present there, we have good. And this is why there is a hadith that says, the Prophet ﷺ said, Allahumma al-khayru bayna yadayk. Oh Allah, good is in your presence. وَالشَّرُّ لَا يَعُودُ إِلَيْكَ. And evil never returns to you. So while we believe that God has created a world of opposites, abundance, want, good, evil, we do not believe that evil goes back to God. Because evil is the absence of the divine. In other words, the divine is absent from the act. Now the other problem, when we look in terms of khayr and shar, is the Quran says, عَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. Maybe you detest a thing and it is khayr for you, it's good for you. وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌ لَكُمْ. And maybe you love a thing, but it's evil for you. And then it says, وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And God knows and you do not know. So there is an idea here in this concept of good and evil that we are in a relative situation. We do not have all of the information here. That one person's evil is another person's good. One person's evil is another person's good. And this happens all over. You can see this. Somebody loses a job, another person gets the job. So for one person it was shar, for another person it was evil, it was good. And this is the nature of the world. Now if you look in terms of The giver of life and the taker of life. If there was no taking of life, then there couldn't be a continuation of life. This is the nature. We generally relate the taking of life to shar. It's a want, it's a lack of. But in relation to the next world, there is a khayr, right? Because death in this world means life in the next world. So this is related to, we are not putting moral components here. We are not judging things for ourselves. Now the Quran has given for the Muslims a criterion. It is evil to kill another person unjustly, and a person is taken into account for that and killed. In relation to the big picture, we do not know, and we can't make an eternal judgment. We can only make a temporal judgment. We do not know. In other words, if somebody murders another person, and by all outward appearances it was an unjustly murder, that person is taken into account and his life is forfeited. Or in certain circumstances, what are called the wulat ad-dam can forgive him. Islam has an interesting attitude towards the death penalty. The Muslims allow for a family to forgive the person. So you can't, the Christian ideal of forgiving, and the Quran actually says to forgive is higher. So if a person killed another person, the family has the right to say they forgive them. Right? They can do that. But in terms of highway robbery, brigandry, there's no. That's anybody that threatens the security of a society. In other words, indiscriminate. So if there was a fight between two people and one person killed the other person, then the family could say, we don't want to take him to account for it. We're going to forgive him. They can do that. But if it's somebody who goes in and robs a store and kills somebody, then they forfeited their life by Islamic law.